Hey guys, how you doing? We've been one day late, right? Because yesterday is a holiday in the US and also in Hong Kong. So yesterday, the name of the holiday yesterday in America is Good Friday, and in Hong Kong is the start of the Easter holiday, right? So today we have to do the program. So we will take very short review of Elon Musk. Right, we know that from the news, then they said that the acquire of Elon Musk to Twitter is a poison pill, right? And then some of the shareholders may take a legal action, right? That means to sue Elon Musk because he is suspect to declare too late. So some people may buy in the Twitter shares in advance, so they get a lot of profit. So it is still on the go, but we will take a look on the Twitter's performance, right? And then it's really bad. I do not suspect anyone to follow Elon Musk unless you know in advance that he will acquire Twitter and then you buy before. Otherwise, I do not suspect anyone of you to follow Elon Musk, right? We have to follow the value. We have to follow the value. After we buy a share, or you can say we buy a company share, right? We have to make sure every day the company's value is higher than the value that we pay when we bought it, right? This is your only mission that you have to assure, right? You have to assure that the true value of the company you bought every day is increasing. At least is higher than at the value of the time when when you bought the share of the company. That's your only mission. If any chance that it is decreasing, or any chance that it become lower and lower, then you should dump it out. But this is the basic mission, and all the things that you need to know is surrounding of this. Right? So I have taken a very quick look on Twitter's performance. Then I do not see any reason that you should buy this company at this moment. At this moment, we know that Elon Musk is the co-founder of PayPal, and then of course he is the founder of Tesla. Right? He once been just a short time before the most richest man in the world, right? So we will take a look on that, right? So but why he spent 43 billion US dollar to acquire Twitter? For what? For 9.2% of the shares. As the CEO, speech freedom? I don't think so, because now he can say whatever he wants to say, right? So I don't know why. Maybe just for fun, right? Maybe just for fun. So, but a lot of the rejections came out, both from Twitter, from the shareholder of Twitter, and from the other aspect that they are objecting to Elon Musk to acquire, to be the CEO first of Twitter. And then he said that he will not be the CEO, but he still wants to acquire Twitter. 9.2. 9.2, then that means he is the one of the biggest shareholder, then he can do anything in the most extent of Twitter, right? And we know that Twitter is a social media. But the performance ongoing is not in a good shape because of the privacy of Apple and then the Google. Then we will talk about it in a moment. So our Falcon portfolio, because it's still talking about putting up the interest rate, right? So our Falcon portfolio been up and down and up and down. We've been up for 67%, then close to 70, and then we dropped to 64, and then we dropped to 60. All right. So if any one of you have any questions or any company then you want me to analyze, then you can leave your comment under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by Usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. And this is our Falcon portfolio. We've been quite transparent on what we've been holding in the portfolio. I think everyone should do, and I always want the finance analyze, right? Then they have their own portfolio, so we can track. And normally the commentator, right? They just comment on this bit by bit and then comments on that bit by bit, right? So you can't compare then what they said is correct or not. Then if the share price rise by 3%, then they success, right? If they drop by 1%, then they fail. Then you can check it, right? So I strongly recommend all those commentators on the finance, then please have a portfolio. It's not easy. Honestly, I tell you, don't tell me that you just want to buy the index ETF, right? So this is our covering, and then Elon Musk spent 43 billion to acquire Twitter for what? And then just yesterday, that is the headline that Elon Musk, this acquire is a poison pill to Twitter, make it die faster, right? It's dying. I tell you, it's dying, but it has it still has cash, right? But it's dying for that social media. I honestly tell you. So watch till the end, then you know why. So this is Dow Jones on Thursday, then drop a little bit, right? Because they may probably put up the interest rate this year for at least 2.5%. 2.5%. Right? Then some said 3%, I don't know, which I don't know, right? Already put up for 0.5%. Then coming in May, Fed will put up for, most probably will put up for another 0.5%. And then in the lower year, then they may put up for 1.5%, right? So the stock market is still very shaking within this year. And this is Nasdaq, drop more, nearly 2.14% on Thursday. So does Elon Musk has that amount to acquire Twitter? Yes, he did. Because for the Tesla, right? For the Tesla's cap is 1,020 billion US dollar. All right. I think he at least because Elon Musk, he has the shares of Tesla for so low prices, right? Many years before, more than 10 years before. So I think the money he can use is maybe 500 billion. And then now he just spending 43 billion. So it's just 10% of his money. So he can take out that amount. So you can clearly see from this Twitter's share price history. The lowest point in this year is about 35. And then after the news that Elon Musk will acquire Twitter, and then it quickly shoot up to 45. So I have calculated for you. The premium that Elon Musk paying is 72%. 72%. That means from 20 something. And then he used 43 billion. So this guy has some problem, right? Because why he used, normally then if you want to acquire the biggest share of a company, you will buy it a bit by a bit, divided into different agents, right? Divided by a bit, by a bit, by a bit. Then when you acquire more than 5%, you have to disclose, right? Then you announce a sum, then I will buy for the balance 4%, something like that, at what amount. So he will save a lot of money, right? And then to prevent the share price shoot up. So this is nonsense, right? This is not a usual deal if you want to absorb the shares from the market, right? And then so a lot of people now is suspecting, oh, does this guy buy this or any of his relatives buy the Twitter share in advance, right? So a lot of people is suspecting. We don't know. We have to wait for the news, right? You can see that within the work from home period of the COVID-19, just like the other social media, like Facebook, right? Like Facebook, like Snapchat, like Google is YouTube, right? And then Twitter herself been shoot up to 73%, $73, the new high. You can see from the share price figure on the screen. And then after the work from home, after the COVID-19 been gone and then this decreasing, right? After the lower half year of last year, and then the share price quickly dropped to what? Dropped from 73 US dollar to nearly 25 US dollar. Dropped a lot, right? Lower than 30. So we take a look from the annual report. Actually, for Twitter, no matter what, is from 2020 to 2021, and then the monthly daily active usage is increasing. From the upper chart, you can see that it's increasing. And for the daily active usage in United States, only in United States, not in the whole world, so, right? Not increasing, not decreasing, it just flat in 2020 to 2021. But if from international, in a quarter, it's still increasing. So we can have a conclusion that the daily active user of Twitter is increasing steadily, right? We know that like Facebook, right, like YouTube, like Snapchat, they all earn money from what? From advertisement. That means AD, advertisement. So you can take a look and advertisement engagement year-over-year change, right? So in 2021, upper year, it's still increasing because of the COVID-19, right? And in 2020 is also increasing. I think at June or March, maybe the low season. I do not know, right? But you can see that after that, the increment of the engagement decreased. And then at the 2021's last quarter, it becomes negative. That means no increment on the advertisement. And then the cost for putting up an advertisement in Twitter then is increasing. You can see that when the COVID-19 is very serious, then the cost is decreasing. But when the COVID-19 is gone, right, maybe the advertisement amount then is decreasing. So the cost increased sharply. Well, you can see that. So quickly, we have a look on the annual report of Twitter of 2021. The revenue is 5 billion US dollar for the whole year, then increased by 36.6%. And the net income also improved a lot, because in 2020, then it's a loss. 2020 is a big loss. In 2020, the revenue is 3.7 billion, but the loss is 1.1 billion US dollar as well. That means whenever she gets $3 income, she lost $1, right? So it's a huge amount. But in 2021, the loss is less, much less, right? Less by 18.5%, 80.5%. She only lost 22 million US dollar. But this is not the reason for you to buy a share, because she is still losing. Remember the rule I just said in the beginning. When you buy a company, or when you buy a share of the company, your only mission is to make sure the value of the company given to you, you are the shareholder, is higher than the value that you bought it, right? That's not, it's still a loss. In 2020, it's a loss. 2021 is still decreasing, but the rate of decreasing is not as much as 2020, but it's still decreasing. That means if you pay 100 when you buy the share of Twitter, then now maybe just $65. And then this year is 64. Then you said that, okay, the decreasing rate is just $1. Previous year is $35. So it's improving, then that is bullshit, because you are still losing money. You are still losing on the value that at the very beginning you bought the company. So you know what I mean, right? That's not a reason. And the cash provided by the operation is still losing, right? Then the cash generated by Twitter, a social media, not the financial, not the investment, is what? 2020 is 992 million US dollar. But 2021, sorry, is just 632 million US dollar, decreased 36%. So it's not operating effectively. And then we have a quick summary on that. The long-term debt of Twitter is 737 million US dollar, not much, right? And the cash plus the short-term investment. Short-term investment means then you can quickly turn that investment back into cash. Or the short-term is very short, maybe 3 months, 6 months, or maximum is 1 year. It's 6.4 billion US dollar. I think that money mostly come from the IPO, right? Mostly come from the IPO, something like that, right? You know that now the CEO of Twitter is Jack Dorsey, right? He's also the founder of previously called Square, and then now it's called Block, right? So if Elon Musk acquire in that amount, then Elon Musk become the biggest shareholder. And the revenue is 5 billion, and the net income, the loss is 22 million. So you can see that this company is not making any cash, right? And then it is spending the cash. It's continuously spending the money it gets from the IPO. So it is not a wise investment. Or you can say that it is not an investment at all, because the investment is losing the money, right? If you dump out this company at this time, okay, I'm not paying with Twitter, I want to sell this company out, then what you can sell is the cash minus for the loss. That's it, right? No premium. Okay, then what happened to the social media in a short time? Very important is the privacy. I have explained this before, right? So you can see that Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, also YouTube, right? And then they will lose 10 billion after iPhone privacy changes. That means the user may push the button, I do not want them to get my cookies. And then if without cookies, they do not know what is the habit, because they trace for your, say if you within Facebook, and then you always to look around on the say running shoes, then they know that you are interested in running shoes. Or you always look at what? Investment books. So they sell you investment books, right? But if they push the button that I do not want Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube to share or to get my browsing habits, then they can have nothing to analyze. If they have nothing to analyze, then the advertiser pays the advertisement to them, but they do not get the business in reward. And then so they will find another media to put their advertisement. But very carefully about YouTube, because YouTube is under Android. YouTube is under Android. It may have her own way to survive, but not Snapchat, Facebook, or Twitter, because they only are what? They only an app. Nothing more. Nothing more. It has nothing. If no cell phone, no mainly is cell phone. You won't use iPad, right? You cannot use Windows, right? So if the iOS restrict them to do that, then they will disappear because no advertisement income. And then another one is also Android. Android is doing the same thing, similar, right? So you can see that on Facebook, the share price drops a lot because the advertiser still they start to find out that when even they paste the advertisement onto Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat, they just by chance. They just by chance, right? Say I paste advertisement on 10 million US dollar, but the reaching of the target customer that they will buy the things, the target rate is very low, much lower than before. So I repeat once again that for Android and Apple is different because they own the system. So you still have to, if you find that you cannot paste the, not so effective on you paste the advertisement on Facebook, on Twitter, on Snapchat, so maybe you will turn back to Google because they have the Gmail, right? You can paste the advertisement on the Gmail, right? On YouTube, then they may have the YouTube Premium, right? The YouTube Premium then maybe because the YouTube is also on the iPad and also on the Windows, also on the other devices that maybe not have the privacy. So show you the share price of Alphabet, right? Not change at all, right? You can see the Google share price not change at all, but you can see the Facebook share price dropped at 25%, while Twitter drops from 73 to 25, 28. Then I don't want to waste time on Snapchat or the others. You can find out yourself, right? So very careful on that. Do not follow what Elon Musk does. Do not follow what Elon Musk do unless you buy Twitter in advance. Then I think that you should dump out now, right? Because you earn a lot already, right? You earn from 28, 25 to 45, then it's nearly a double, right? So this is what I want to share with you today. Okay, we share up till here, and then please give me your like if you like this video, and then share to your friends. I hope everyone have a peaceful and a long weekend, and then please help to press the subscribe button and then also press the bell icon next to it. So whenever there is a new video uploaded, then YouTube will inform you immediately, right? So everyone have a peaceful and a long holiday. See you next week. Bye bye.